Hey folks, it's Chris. Welcome back to Ndaba Africa. And while 2021 may be turning out to be quite a disappointing year as far as representative democracy goes in Uganda, what with the recent elections and claims of pervasive fraud, the election violence, the arrest and detention of opposition opponents like Bobby Wine, and the murder of opposition supporters across Uganda in the build-up to the elections, 2020 was anything but a disappointing year as far as coffee goes. Quite an amazing year for coffee in Uganda. Now, Uganda, I lived there and visited coffee plantations, also dealt with Ugandan coffee growers while I was there a few years back, and it was quite amazing. The level and quality of coffee that comes out of Uganda, it's very interesting types, but the two main types of coffee that you can get from Uganda are Robusta and Arabica. Now, there are three Arabic growing regions across Uganda. That's at Mount Elgon on the eastern border with Kenya. Now, the coffee grown there at the lower altitudes has an harvest season from June through December. At the higher altitudes, the harvest season is from July through the following February. So basically, you can harvest coffee for 9 months of the year on Mount Elgon. Now, we also have the West Nile region, which is the northwestern quadrant of Uganda. And the coffee there is known for its citrus profiles. It's a little bit different, the Arabica coffee there. And then the final Arabica coffee growing region is the Rwenzori Mountains in the southwestern part of Uganda. This is the area where Yoweri Museveni's homeland is. His birthplace is down in the southwestern part of the country. Uganda has amazingly over 500,000 small grower farms around the country. That's an amazingly large number. Now, this is a consequence as many subsistence farmers who raise crops on the land also grow small amounts of coffee, mixing with their food crops. Now, the good news for 2020 is that Uganda saw a 22% increase to 5,492,525 60-kilogram bags. Wow, that's a lot of coffee for a small country like that. From that nearly 5.5 million bags of coffee, Uganda earned $516 million. Europe is its major export market, and that accounts for 63% of all exports. Major export markets in Europe include, of course, Italy, not a surprise, Germany, Belgium. Those are the three biggest markets for them in Europe. Other major markets include Sudan and India. But in Africa, Uganda does export coffee as well. In fact, coffee consumers of Ugandan coffee include Sudan, as I mentioned, Morocco, Kenya, Algeria, Egypt, South Africa, and South Sudan. Yeah, so there you have it. Now, one of the challenges with coffee in Uganda is that there's very little domestic consumption. It kind of reminds me of the macadamia nut production in South Africa, where the local market accounts for such a small share of the production that it makes South Africa's macadamia nut industry highly dependent on commodity prices and export markets. Now, the same thing applies here in Uganda, where 95% of Uganda's crop is exported abroad to those countries I mentioned and others. For instance, the United States consumes about 6% of Uganda's exports each and every year, but domestic consumption at less than 5% is not a major factor driving the marketplace at all. Nonetheless, it was quite a good year for Ugandan coffee in 2020. What will 2021 hold? Well, we're in the midst of the higher altitude coffee production on Mount Elgon right now, running through this month, and then that's the end of it. And then we look forward to the coffee harvesting season beginning once again in earnest for at least Arabica coffee starting in June across Uganda. Well, folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris Wine Africa, why don't you take a moment and become a subscriber? You can become more aware of interesting topics like Ugandan coffee production, counterterrorism, politics, rugby, things like this, agriculture. Take your pick. Culture, music, we cover it all. Become a subscriber. It's absolutely free. Be sure to toggle the bell icon to get notified of updates, and also give us a like. Hit that like button because likes drive viewership. I want to thank you for your time, for your understanding, and for your custom. Thanks a lot, folks. Have a good day.